Running fans, jumping fans, throwing fans, all around athletics fans. Welcome to Talking in Ovals. How is everybody doing out there on this Monday, October 20th, 2025. I still had Tuesday written there, Dave, because we were on Tuesday last week.
Last week,
Of course, I'm great at messing these things up. Episode number 163. Hyatt, what's up, brother?
I think we're finally at the point where we can put track and field to bed for the year and focus on XC.
It's so weird to say because I feel like the track and field season went on forever this year,
did.
which
Well, I mean,
I'm not mad about.
Winter will be here next month, so
It's so great. The winter season in the Northeast is like, hey,
It's
cross
bonkers, man.
country, okay, winter season, and then it's like a blip of
Listen.
outdoor track, and then it's like back to winter. Winter never ends.
Some of the best 3200s are like the first race post XC because those
Yeah.
kids, and then they go and take their break. So it's gonna be fun. It's right around the corner, but we got to get through the rest of this XC season first, and it's gonna be a doozy.
It's going to be crazy as always. But before we get to all the fun stuff, wherever you're watching from, we appreciate it. Whether it's X, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Kick, thank you very much. Please make sure, like, share, follow, all that good stuff. And if you're listening to this later via podcast form, which I will readily admit, I have been awful about getting these out to the podcast, promoting them. I apologize to all of our guests because typically it's me and I just haven't had the time. I'm doing some stuff in my personal life that are taking up a boatload of my time. So I will try to be better. I will try to be better. And, I just feel bad for the guests because it's like, hey, you're on the show. Thanks.
They can still catch us live on YouTube and they can watch it anytime. And like I said, listen, we have lives. We are people. We have families. We have jobs. So
like Dave said, if it's important to you, make sure you spread this so people can come watch it live. That makes it even better. See, Dave,
absolutely.
You're a great marketing manager over here.
Oh, yeah.
So before we bring our guest on, I just want to talk. Last week we had Jeff Benjamin back on the show, prolific writer over there for Staten Island, for SI Now, Staten Island Now, over there, and he's putting on the Legends Gala again, the marathon week for New York Marathon, and you don't want to miss that.
The guest list is, Billy Mills, Bob Beeman, Dave Waddle, Matt Centro Senior, Ali Wilson, Ajay Wilson. Like it's we've gone the last 2 years. It's been an amazing time. We couldn't make it this year, but anybody who is close, go. It's an amazing time. You get to be up close and personal with so many legends of the sport. Last year we got to talk to Bill Rogers, Joan Benoit. We got to sit in a car and you drove Dave Waddle where we were going. It was an absolute amazing experience, and I recommend anyone go. They give out free tickets to so many kids who get a chance to meet all these people. It's an awesome time.
And on top of that, I was like, as I'm driving my stick shift everywhere, I have Dave Waddle sitting next to me. I'm hopefully not trying to make it like mess up at all, even though I've driven stick now forever, but it's like Dave Waddle's here. Don't look like an idiot. So, there's
this guy won the Olympics in 1972.
Seriously, one of the coolest races you'll ever watch. But let's bring on our guest this week. I am excited to bring her on because we had on one of her athletes not too long ago. And now we are bringing her on. She is Dianne DeOliveira. She is the founder and president of Bella in Motion. Dianne, what's going on?
Hi, guys. Thanks so much for having me.
We appreciate you taking the time to jump on. Like I said, we had Courtney a few weeks ago, and she spoke so highly of you. And Dave's like, hey, do you want Dianne on? And I'm just like, yes, of course I want Dianne on. Like, what are we talking about here? So
that's where I always thought, because I always ask Alex, like, don't ask me. If you have a guest, just book them.
Exactly.
We are co-hosts. It's not my show. On, so I would be easy on her.
No, she made it perfectly clear that you are a coach that is no nonsense and makes her work, and she loves every single second of it.
She's supposed to say that. That was her trying to butter Dianne up so she doesn't go and give her like ridiculous repeats or something tomorrow. But so before we get into the fun stuff, I want to make sure that we give a shout out to our buddy Adam Nalvin. He's hosting again the 4th annual River Rock and Run 5K Saturday, November 15th, 9 a.m. over at the River Rock Restaurant. I say that 3 times fast, and bar over in Brick, New Jersey. If you're in the area and you haven't, registered yet, go to Adam's page, Adam Alvin, and he will make sure that you get registered right over there. The cool part about this, and Dave, we've talked about this years before, is you don't have to run the 5K solo. If 3 miles isn't your jam,
if you're out of shape, kind of like me, you're like, I'm just. It can bring you back to your middle school cross country days, 1.5 miles, just boom.
And you get to hold a baton. It's not very often you get to carry a baton in a 5K. No. So, Dianne, you've participated in this event the last 3 years, right? How has it gone?
So I did it with my son the one year, but as individuals, we did the full 5K and I
Of
had to
course.
out sprint him in the end. I could not let him beat me. But yeah, it's a great race, a lot of fun, a lot of families and, kids, adults. It's a good time and the after party, the food is
Yeah, listen.
amazing. So it's a great time. Come out.
So even if you're not into really running, go there,
Yeah,
walk, run, go grab some beers and some good grub and just have a good time.
absolutely. And what's good about their race is it benefits the food bank,
Yes.
Yes,
so
yes.
fulfill. So all the proceeds go to fulfill.
There's no reason not to go.
Right.
And then you'll be a true runner because all runners do it for the pint. That's why they run races. They
Exactly.
don't run races to get a PR. They run races for the pint. And that's why so many races offer one right after
Listen,
it.
they're having a race Jersey Shore soon. It's like pizza themed. Like all these pizza places are there and they're having free pizza afterwards.
Yes, run for pizza. That's my kind of race.
You see,
Absolutely.
Dave, we should do this. Diane, you should actually take this. You should do the Bella Pizza Marathon, where after every single mile, you have to eat a slice of pizza.
I
And
think
just
I
see how
would
many
win.
people would throw up.
All of them.
And you could sit there and you can have this pizzeria sponsored from this mile. You're
That
eating it
sounds
from
like a
this
pretty good
pizzeria.
idea.
26 pizzerias in the area. Boom.
That could be a possibility.
Listen, if you have one finisher, they are the world record holder in that.
Well, you'll always have a world record holder in that because it could be like a Ninja Warrior where it's not if they finish, it's how many obstacles they get through. So
Right.
it's how many miles they get through before throwing up and giving up.
Exactly.
It's not like the old college beer mile, it's the pizza mile.
Right.
This
Yep.
show is already off the rails.
It is derailed, and that's what I like doing. Like to give a shout out, Coach Pick over here saying, "Been a while, hello fellas." What's up, Coach Pick?
What's up, Coach?
You are an individual we are going to have on the show at some point, Coach. So
Yes.
you just be ready.
We
Be
need
ready. We're coming knocking
Full
soon.
perspective of this
Yes,
sport.
100%. But let's get into what we like to do here. So, Diane, I don't know if you know, we always like to give a shout out to individuals who have PRs in the sport. We encourage coaches, we encourage coaches to send us their athletes' PRs because we like to give, whether it is super fast, super slow, it does not matter.
It
We
is
just
their
like
PR.
PRs.
Yeah.
But we have had only one individual coach who has been faithful to this now
Michigan.
for well over a year from Michigan. He is Tom Figueroa. He's the head coach of Red Arrow Track Club over there. And he has individuals that run for Edwardsburg High School over there in Michigan. And he sends it to us every week. So we're always appreciative. So this week, we only had one PR. And I always like to read what he likes to say because he always sends me, I never know how to pronounce places in Michigan, but this one's easy. So he said, just one meet this week at with the Wolverine Conference, which was held in Paw Paw, Michigan, which is awesome. Guys placed third and girls tied for third. Next week they have regionals and state, and the season is done. Moving on to indoor season, which is exactly what you said, Dave.
Yep.
So we only have one PR here, and it's for Grace Lehman, a female 10th grader. She ran a 1944.18. Awesome time. So especially for a sophomore, that's fantastic. So awesome job, Grace. And I mean, just for getting a PR this late in the season, it's like, that is really cool. Cause, coach, as you know, both coaches, but, Diane, as you know, being a coach for so long, it's hard to get PRs this late. Like you are trying to peak, but it's difficult once it gets in the championship.
Well, because
season.
now it's more like about place and racing than it is about times, like it's like, hey, I got to get top 10, So like your time kind of goes out the window. At least that's what I would tell my kids, just race. Times come when you race.
Yeah, you have to race. There's moments where you just have to race and not think about the time, just go for it, be in the race and be present.
Yeah.
So definitely, congrats to Grace over there. And we look forward to, Coach, I'm pretty sure he'll have a few more PRs. Cause again, like you guys said, sometimes in these regional and state races, you maybe have some of your top kids that are kind of going for place, but some of your kids in your bottom 5, your 4, 5, 6, I mean, they're running those PRs because they're trying to get those extra.
Well, and listen, he said the guys were third, the girl third. Like they could have established some sort of pack racing strategy as well. Like we don't know exactly how the race all unfolded. So especially when cross country, it's so hard to dissect when you just see a time on a course that you don't know.
Yeah.
In a race that you have no idea how it went out. Like cross country definitely leaves so much more open for interpretation in that regard. It's like track. Hey, they ran 401. I know what 401 is. I've seen it. It's a 400-meter track. But in cross country, there's so many factors that can create so many circumstances that we just don't know about.
But you
Right.
know what though? It's in Paw Paw, Michigan, and I believe that Paw Paw is awesome just because it's a great name. Like we need a Paw Paw. Like we have some. There's actually some cool names in Jersey and New York, so I give it that. But I mean, Paw Paw kind of takes a cake here.
Listen, man. Yeah.
So, we always love that. Again, anyone that's watching or listening, coaches, athletes, you run a PR, you throw
Yep.
a PR, you jump for a PR, send it to us. We want to give you a shout out. And,
Yep.
I know Coach Figueroa says that his athletes look forward to it every week. They love getting the shout outs, and we enjoy
Yep.
giving them the opportunity to, let the world know that they're working their tails off. So they deserve the love.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll be coming to you, coach, whenever you have any of your Bellas running
I
any PRs.
I
We want
will.
them.
Or your TRE girls too.
That's right.
Or
Yeah,
your
we had
TRE
2
scores.
PR
Yes.
last week. Yeah.
There you go. So
Yeah.
we expect a list. We want the list. We will take time. We will take 10 minutes out of the
Oh,
beginning of the
absolutely.
show
We
to
have
give shout outs. We have.
earlier.
We
We
love
have.
it. Like, and we'll pick and choose like some of our past guests
Or
that
coach,
run really
even if
well.
you get a PR
Oh, yeah.
yourself.
Well,
Yes.
I haven't had one in a while, so
Well, when the pizza marathon comes around, it's an auto
there we
PR.
go.
Let's go. All right. So
I'm ready.
let's jump in now because when we have our guests on, the show is about you. So the first thing I like to ask all of our guests, when did you get the spark to not just be a runner, but to pursue the sport? Because there's a difference between just starting to run and then it finally clicking going, you know what? I think I'm a runner. I don't just run for fun. I don't just run to get ready for XYZ sport. I am a runner. So when did that moment come to you?
5th grade after my first race. So Bob Petruski, who has passed away,
Rest in peace, Bob.
Yep.
yeah, he really did so much for the running community. He was never my coach, but I went to high school north and Jim Jackson coached Petruski and, they had a rival going. But
My mom taught at High
Petruski,
School North for years.
yeah, so yes, and Petruski had the race at Ocean County Park, and as a 5th grader, my teacher held up a flyer and said, "Does anyone want to run this mile race at Ocean County Park?" And it was in October, and me and one other kid in the class raised our hand. And I came home to my parents, and I had asthma, and my father's like, "You can't run a mile." My mother's like, "You can't run," But the night before, I ran up and down my street. My father took me, you'll crack up. I ran, I'll never forget, I ran in corduroy pants that were
Nice.
probably from Sears
Nice.
and a winter jacket. And I got a medal. I came in the top 10. And from that moment, I decided I was a runner.
There's
So
no doubt that you had the best sound for that mile because those corduroy pants
I
going up against each other had to be
I
awesome for
crack
a whole
up
mile.
till this day that I didn't know any better, and they
Yeah, of
they
course,
thought it was cold.
but there's something pure about the innocence of that.
Right.
Like I just want to run this mile. Like just the fact that you said, "Hey, mom and dad, watch this," and you ran up and down the street, like shows that this is something you wanted to do. So the innocence of that and just the joy and getting a medal, running in corduroys, like that's a great story. Like that's a great story.
I wanted to play soccer. My father wouldn't let me. And I don't know if it was
Mm.
because of my asthma or they just didn't have the time on the weekends to take me. I wanted to do karate and he wouldn't let me do that. So when I was able to finally, he let me do this race. And I think that's what steered me in that direction. And it was for a good thing, I guess, because I'm still running.
I just
So,
think of the intimidation of hearing the corduroys going behind you. Like, imagine like if you're running a race now, all of a sudden you're,
No,
you're like,
no.
oh God, they're coming.
Just imagine the psychological mind screw of the other people. Like, this girl's got no chance. She's in corduroy. And all of a sudden, hearing those corduroys coming, be like, she's really good.
But it also probably gives you a different perspective when you get those freshmen who show up in Jordans and
uh,
really long basketball shorts. And it's
Yeah,
like, you know what?
you're gonna be
Still better
okay.
than me with the corduroys. So
yeah,
like
yeah. Never judge a book by its cover.
Never.
no, because it's like once you get some of those individuals into like the proper shoes and the proper
Yeah,
mindset, all of a sudden they're becoming some of your best runners. They're just
exactly.
talented athletes and stuff. So that is always fun. So now, with that being said, and I love the fact that 5th grade it started off for you. And one of our favorite parts is hearing the different ways and how people get the spark. And yours is just like a pure spark, right? Like it's what I was allowed to do. I did it. I loved it. I'm done. So I love that. So now bring us down memory lane. And memory lane wouldn't be too far from you because you are still competing at a pretty high level.
Yeah.
So talk about for your favorite memories from way back 5th
Oh,
grade all the way up until now.
oh my gosh. I have so many great memories from running. It's hard to,
Sure.
talk about all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, from middle school, well, elementary school, really, we only had like 2 track races, but that was fun and
Sure.
competitive. And then, middle school, we had a really good team. High school, um, all of my friends went to high school east and I went to north, all the people that I ran with. So we had a good middle school team and all those runners went to east. So I was like the lone runner at north for a while. And
So
then
they all ran for Petruski over at East.
yes, yes. But we would go to camp with them in the summer and it was amazing, but just as far as like winning things and I'll never forget my freshman year. I was undefeated for a while. And that's when the press newspapers actually covered sports and cross
The
country
Observer
The
was a
Observer.
big thing. If you got into the Observer
Oh,
the
like
listen,
that, like
Observer.
not even the press, it was the Observer was the
The
big one to get
Observer.
into.
I had my picture on the front page of the sports section like 2 or 3 times. It was a big deal.
It was a big
It
It's
deal.
was.
so
I
cool.
mean,
You go to the
it was.
Wawa, you look at the Observer, you're
You're like,
there.
there I
Like
am. That's me, baby, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and I mean, they generated these rivalries that really
Uh-huh.
weren't rivalries, but they would kind of like pit you up a little bit against people. And just, you wanted to do well to get those accolades.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I remember it was a state sectionals down in Clearview, and I remember being just like I would sleep before the races, not sleep, but just be quiet on the bus and not talk before the race. I like
Oh,
to
I
just be
brought a pillow
quiet.
and I used to lay on the bus in the actual middle
Yeah,
Same,
section where
man.
people walked.
in the
I
I
was
used to
free
like,
sleep in the
theater.
middle.
I was like
Yeah.
this. I was like, come on, let's go.
Yeah, and our coach, I remember he gave us like Dunkin' Donuts and chocolate,
That's so
hot
awesome.
chocolate, which probably not good before a race. But I remember him telling me, "You're just as good as any of these girls, and you could win this." And it was me and I think Lisa Silvestri from Shawnee,
Johnny.
and we were going back and forth, and I won that race, and that was a big deal.
Sure. That's awesome.
Yeah, and so like a memory like that was a big deal, and just I've had so many good memories. It's hard to pick any, but as far as masters running, it's just as exciting for me now as it was then in high
Well,
school
did
and in
you compete in
college.
college? Yeah. Where did
I
you go to
did.
college?
So I got a full scholarship to Middle Tennessee State University,
Nice.
That's
and
cool.
I ran for Dean Hayes, who has also passed on now.
Awesome. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we had the 4x8 school record that was broken recently within the last, I think, 2 years. So that stood for all of this
It's a nice
time.
run. It's a nice long
Um,
run. Yeah.
yeah, and I was on the all-time list for the 1500 cross country. I finished pretty well in our big meets.
So
Um,
what was it like being a Jersey Shore girl and then going all the way to
Middle
Tennessee, like
Tennessee.
Middle
Yeah.
Tennessee? So because that had to be a little bit of a change going from, I could just go and get up and go to the beach every day. And it's like, don't know
There's
where I'm
no
going in
beach.
Tennessee. Like,
There's no
what are
beach.
we
Yeah.
doing?
Well, you guys will crack up. I actually, I hate to admit this, my SAT scores were horrible. I had a good grade point average. I was in the honor society, all of that. I struggled with the SATs, and it wasn't until June of my senior year. I had all schools offering me things, but they wanted to take me as Proposition 48.
Right.
June of my senior year, I finally um, got what I needed, and a small school in South Carolina was friends with the North Hunterdon coach and came and recruited me and gave me a full ride. So I went to, it was called Baptist College, which is now Charleston Southern University, for a
Okay.
year. And I got injured. I had multiple stress fractures in both of my legs.
Ooh.
One of the guys who trained at our facility, Charlie Simpkins, was an Olympian. He was a triple jumper who was being coached by the coach at Middle Tennessee. And he said to me, "Why don't you go to Tennessee? Go there." And I was like, "Are you crazy?" And I actually contacted the coach. Mr. Jackson, my high school coach, spoke to him, told him what I had run, what I could do. He gave me a full ride, completely injured with multiple stress fractures in both legs, and gave me the chance. So I transferred there and, had a pretty successful career under him. And, never had injuries like that
You know
again.
what? Kudos
Well,
to your high school coach for taking out time when you weren't even in high school anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I
That's, I
had
mean, I
great,
mean, I would too. I'm sure you would too. Like once they're on our team, they're just part of our family. But he didn't have to.
He
You know,
didn't. But I always had good coaches, from elementary, middle, and high school. And my track coach, Mr. Barnes and Mr. Jackson, both when I was struggling with the SATs, they both stayed after school with me and made me do practice test after practice test. So they both cared. I was like, their
I mean, the
child.
Shore Conference has
you
been
know something
blessed
funny?
with good coaches in generally
Listen,
most of the schools in the Shore
so
Yeah.
have
funny,
been very blessed with that.
so funny
Yeah.
because Mr. Barnes' daughter Mary went to South, where I went, and
Yeah.
I had like the biggest crush on her because she ran track and she was 2 years older than me. It's hysterical. Mary Barnes, yep, she was
So
great.
funny. But yeah,
Mr.
so
Barnes
they
was a very good coach. I mean, they had a very good girls program over there for quite some, and then after that you had Ichibo, now you have Noel and it's awesome.
Yeah. So, but I mean, the coaches, like I said, I've always been blessed with really good coaches who really cared and they were careful and what they gave me. They never pushed me to my full limit, which is probably why I'm still competing today. But yeah, so college, I ended up at Middle Tennessee State University, ran there. And then after college, I didn't run for several years. And I just kind of was burnt out, tired of it.
It's
Uh,
a job in college. It really because the 2-a-days, lifting,
yeah,
like, it's something it's like it doesn't like this is the one thing we preach on this show. It doesn't matter if it's JUCO, NAIA, D1, 2, 3. You get there, you commit, you're doing doubles. You are
it's your
in the
job.
weight room. You are
Yep.
Yeah.
making sure your GPA stays to whatever, usually at the Rio at most schools now. It's like it is really, really tough. And I think that's like and it's only gotten tougher, right? As people have gotten more and more serious
Oh,
about
Sure.
yeah. I
I
running,
mean,
can
but
like,
it's
yeah,
crazy.
imagine.
we've talked about it on our show. Like kids these days, they don't go out when they're in college. Like they don't go out and have fun. It's just
Yeah.
running, 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 running is everything.
Darren
Yeah.
Peters
I mean,
ever the sleuth over here, 4x8 of 906 in 2022 is a great record. Yeah.
we traveled every weekend, on our big bus, so it was every weekend. So I didn't go to many college football games because we traveled the whole season.
Yeah.
And even in track, indoor, outdoor. Um, but just, now as a master's runner, I have so many great memories too. In Iowa at the Outdoor Nationals, we broke the American record. It was a mixed masters team, or non-club, I should say. And then we broke the world record in the 4x4
That's
in
so
New
Imagine that.
cool.
York
World
at the
record holder.
Outdoor
That's so cool.
Nationals. So that was exciting. I
Yeah.
ran my first, I didn't get into masters running until I didn't know there was a whole master scene. So I didn't
It's
run
huge.
several years after college. I just stopped running. A good friend of mine, Alicia Giuliano, who was a really good runner, she ran for Delaware and Rutgers. She was an NCAA champion in the 10,000. She went to Delaware and then transferred to Rutgers. And we grew up in the same neighborhood. So she would call me every day, come run with me, come run with me. And I say, no, I'm not running. I'm not interested. Finally, one day, she's like, just meet me. So we lived like a mile and a half away. So I would meet her, run like a mile with her, and
Yeah.
run back home. And she got me back into running. And then she moved to California and I got serious. So what was interesting is we did the New York City Marathon together. She flew in from California. We
That's
trained,
really cool.
but she got me back into running. My whole point was I didn't know a whole masters world
Yeah.
existed until I heard there was an indoor track meet. I was actually training for a half marathon, and someone told me there was an indoor track meet at Monmouth University. And I'm like, what? There's an indoor track meet that I can run in? So I just forgot about the half training, jumped in that, and I ran, I think it was like a 2:23. And Tony Plaster and this woman, Wendy
That's awesome.
Glassman, came up to me and they said, you have to go to indoor nationals. I'm like, what are you talking about? What is that? I didn't know like about the USATF.
You
And
thought that
they're
was
like,
all over, like all those times were done. Like I did,
yeah,
I'm out of college now. I can't do that
I
anymore.
couldn't
I
believe
just
it.
run
And
road races now. You know,
indoor track was my favorite. So I couldn't believe there were meets that I could run in. So once I started looking more into it and found out about it, I ran my first masters meet was the World Championships in Sacramento.
It's
I
so
was
cool.
40 years old.
That's
And
awesome.
that was my first, and I just did an indoor world meet in Florida in Gainesville. So it was so exciting because I think that was the first time it was in the United States for indoors, but I had the experience of doing the outdoors,
right?
and I haven't stopped since then, and I'll keep competing until I probably am in a wheelchair. So
So, what is it like from the USATF side in terms of support, right? Of the athletes that are representing the United States at Masters? How close are they with you guys, or is it very much in every kind of man and woman for
for themselves.
themselves when it comes to these types of things?
it's actually a very supportive thing. I felt when
That's
I
fantastic.
first came onto the master scene, I didn't really know anyone, and a lot of these women had seen each other before, and it wasn't as big. So I felt kind of like it took me probably about 3 years before I really started to know more people and meet more people. And now it's just like it's so fun to go to all of these meets, indoor, outdoor, and we don't do as much cross country because it's hard to travel,
Yeah.
but it's so cool to just see everybody and catch up. And I've met some good friends, keep in touch with a lot of people. And as much as your competitors, when you get on the line, there are some women
Sure.
that are my good friends. But when we get on the line, we know it's every
Yeah.
woman for herself. It's like
Yep.
whoever has it that day is going to be the best. So,
Of
and
So
course.
then as soon as we step off, I'm like, okay, well, if anyone was going to beat me, I'm glad it was you. So
so since your time back in track and noticing all these races for Masters, how much more involvement have you seen in women in that time? Has it really exploded? Because I feel like there's just more women running, more moms who are having babies and getting back into it. I feel like women now, like they're it is their time, like they're here and it's beautiful.
yeah. I feel like Masters track has really exploded in the last couple of years, men and women.
Yeah.
But what I think is interesting is to see the older people, yeah, like I feel old, but to see a
The 80s, yeah.
90-year-old competing or an 80-year-old hurdling. I mean, I can't touch my toes, and it's amazing
There
to
is
see them pole
yeah.
vaulting and
There is no better
doing.
race at Penn Relays every year than like the 70 plus 100-meter, man. Like the crowd goes crazy. And some of those guys are running like 13 seconds. I'm like, this guy's like 100. Or,
Do you see that? And it's like, I
Yeah,
have no excuse but to continue now.
yeah.
Like, there's no
right.
reason for me not to keep going.
Right. Well, they're inspiring. So we met
Yeah.
a guy out in Iowa. It was so funny. He was sitting by himself. We were out to dinner and he had the wristband on from the meet. That's how what we knew he was a masters runner.
Yeah.
And we just struck up a conversation with him. And that was back in Iowa. So every time we see him, he's 90. So and he lives out in
Wow.
Oregon. He runs on a banked track. He will do 7 races in these meets. So I'm like, okay, he's
Jeez.
90 something years old. He could still do 7 races.
That's
I'm complaining about
incredible.
3. I can do this.
I
So
mean, listen, like just last week we talked about a show. We had the 80-year-old finish the Ironman. The
yeah,
80-year-old woman, like that's. I mean, I still think every day we learn more about what the human body can do, and I still don't think we're even close to really figuring out what the actual limits are. And I think that those limits are a lot higher up than people thought.
right. And the other thing is, I think people are very intimidated by track. So when you have even runners who ran in college and maybe they've had kids, and now it's like they're starting to find their life again a little bit. And I'll talk to people and they'll think, I can't run anymore. I ran in college. That was 20 years ago. And I'm like, no, just try it, give it a chance, and you'll surprise yourself. And then all of a sudden they run a PR and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe I could do this again.
I think
That's
it's the
So
mental toughness side because the
sure.
track going around in circles, I think, is harder
Circles.
than it will ovals. Sorry. Going around in ovals, I suck. Going around in ovals is harder than, a course, it's different, right? You're seeing
right.
different things, it's experiencing, you're looking at trees.
Sure.
Like, it's a little more zen when you're competing. You're running fast, but there's a little more zen on the roads and stuff like that. Where the track, once you start to break down, you're just looking at more track. So it's like, I think the mental side is so much harder because I think physically we can get back, but then it's like, if you don't force yourself to push, then why? Like, there isn't a why there until people start to get back into it and get over that.
And like I said, even just doing a track workout, even just with Bella in Motion, when I have new people join or ask me about it, and I'll tell them we meet for a track workout, they get scared. And I'm like, no, it's not what you think. Just come and try. I'm not going to put you out there and make you do 10 400s. It's like
Right.
I'm going to give you a workout
I'd
based on
still
where
go love
you
to do
are, based on where
that.
you are, what you're doing. But
N-
until they come out and actually see it and do it, then they're like, oh, okay, it just seems so scary to me.
Yeah.
And it's not easy you have to be consistent if you're
Yes.
serious about
Yes.
track, or you just want to do it for fun. I love track. That's my passion.
So
So
as a masters runner, right? Because and this is a question that this is the reason why I don't really run anymore, because I can't get past this mental hurdle. As you age, do you have to tell yourself that like you're going for times that aren't as fast as you were when you're young? Because that's the part, like even now I go for runs, I'm like, I'm not running 6 flats per mile. Like I get so frustrated, but it's such a logical thing, and I can't get that to compute in my mind, and I get so frustrated. Like, do you have to tell yourself, listen, I'm not 25 anymore? Like what I am running, like change your times based upon where you feel that you are now to keep some sort of sanity?
yeah, what's weird is sometimes it's interesting. I feel like as you get older, it's not for everybody, but and I've discussed this with people over all the time. I feel like actually I'm almost faster speed wise, but I can't hold it
Gotcha.
endurance, you know. So I shorter, faster stuff, I can it's strange to me how it works. But no, I can't run the times I ran in college, you know, or even high school. Sometimes I can't hit those times.
Yeah.
But I think for where I'm at, and if I'm my training's going well, I set goals based on
Smart.
where my training is, who my competitors are, what am I looking to accomplish in that meet? You know, am I going for time? Am I going just for
Yeah.
a place? Um, so yeah, I enjoy competing. I love it, you
It's
know.
awesome.
So
Because that
okay.
because that mindset's always there. Like I'm sure if we asked Courtney that question, she'd be like, no, I'm going to get my fastest time at 55 years old.
And
Like,
she
and she
continues
might.
to do that.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Which is
Yeah.
all like it's crazy how like like different people age almost in different ways.
It's
Right.
funny too because like having you, Courtney, Amanda, and like other people on, obviously me and Amanda are the same age, but it just gives me hope that I'm not done. Even though I haven't really ran.
Yeah.
My ankle, I'm going to get my left ankle checked out this Monday because I think I screwed it up again. But it's like I can running is a sport where I can pick it back up, right?
Yep.
And if I'm consistent and I train,
That's what it
I
is.
can
It's like that.
eventually get to a point where I'm feeling fast again, right? Like I'm not running college times, I'm not running high school times, but I'm feeling fast. I'm feeling fit. When I go out and do a workout, it feels good. I'm not disappointed all the time. Like, and I think that's part of it. Like Dave said, when you're getting back into it and you're expecting, like, I'm expecting to go do a 6 mile run and crank 7 flat and be able to come back and finish under 5 because I'm a psycho. Like, but it's not what you used to be. And I feel like sometimes accepting, okay,
Sure.
I'm struggling at 9:30. Let me
Acceptance.
drop it down to 9:45. Like, and that's okay. Like, I feel like that becomes a struggle sometimes.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's moments where I'm like, "Oh, why am I doing this?" But then I can't imagine not doing it.
Yeah.
And every time I get hurt, like I haven't run in about 3 weeks. Every time I start feeling great and I'm like, "Okay, I feel amazing again." It wasn't even a running injury. There was water on my bathroom floor and I was in
Oof.
bare feet and I did a split. It
Oh
happened
Ooh.
so
no.
fast. I didn't even know what hit me. And I was like, "Oh my God, help, I've
You're like, I'm
fallen. I
not
can't
that
get up,"
flexible anymore.
And
Oh, and then
so
I can't get up.
yeah. So it was like, now
The
it's
old
my
commercial.
labrum and my quad.
Oh,
So I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So I'm being patient. I'm on the stationary bike, which I hate, but I
ugh,
want to compete. So
Yeah.
as much as I hate the bike, I am on that bike doing the workouts. So when I can run, I haven't lost too much of my fitness.
yeah.
I'm ready to lose my mind soon because the bike is so like,
I hate the bike.
I
but
feel like a good word for masters is resilience. Like you just got to
right,
be resilient and just keep going, because like you said, in this sport, nothing takes the place of just showing up. Just
right.
showing up. Like if you show up every day and you do what you're supposed to do, you will get better in this sport, and
And if
that's what's
you
great about it.
want to do it,
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't, my motivation is I like it and I want to do it and I love to compete. And I'll know when my time comes when I think I really have to give it up, but I'm not there yet. You know, I'm not ready to say I'm done. So, my mind thinks I'm 20, but my body's like, oh no, you are 54.
So
So
so with all this and your own personal running, what made you decide to get into coaching?
Yes.
Well, I think I had gotten injured and I just, it was a different perspective. Instead of me being in the workouts, like we would do workouts together and I would yell the times as we're in the workout. But then all of a sudden I'm standing there timing, standing, and it was a different perspective from me because when you're in the workout running and training and trying to coach and as you're training, it's different. So I saw a whole different side, and I really enjoyed it, and I felt like I made a better coach than a running coach, you know what I mean? So I saw a different side of it, and that got me interested. And then I had an opportunity to coach at High School East, and I love it. And coaching the Bella women, most of them, but I love it. And even when I can run with them, I miss running with them. So, but when I do, I can, or sometimes I'll train by myself, or I'll run with them, or time them separately so I can train them the right way.
So what did you gain from learning how to coach, right? Because coaching isn't easy. It's not like you could just pick up and you're actually it's not like they're coming to you and just saying, "Hey, can you time me?" You're designing workouts, you're
Yeah,
designing plans. That is incredibly different. Dave knows about this as you're trying to target specific meets, specific events, specific dates to
yeah.
get X, Y, and Z. So what have you learned in your time as a coach about how to plan? And now you're not only dealing with high school runners, you're dealing with a bunch of adults that have their own lives, have
Yeah.
most of them have children
Yeah.
What is that
at
perspective
very
like?
different
Yeah.
skill levels there, right? So how much is your brain jumbled, and how often do you mistake some of them and go, you're doing repeat quarters, and they're like, this isn't your High School East girls. Okay, so like like
No, but I put a lot of thought into the workouts, and that's what it's time consuming.
yeah,
So sometimes you can give the same workout, depending on what the race, if certain people are doing the same race, but you can execute it differently.
of course.
Um, so actually it's, some people I laugh because I hire maintenance or just, but not only are you a coach, but you're like a psychologist,
Sure.
a psychiatrist,
Yes.
you're a friend, you're a mentor. So all those things come into play. And it's actually, it's almost the adults, they are more motivated because they choose to be there.
Yep.
Correct.
So they have goals for themselves, which I love because they have goals and they want to fulfill those goals. So it's nice when you see that they care.
Yeah.
So you have to actually put probably more time into the adults
Sure.
than the high school kids because it's easier to coach them, I feel, than the adults.
Plus, some of
Um,
the adults, like, they've done it before, so they have, like, kind of an opinion of what
right.
they feel works best for them, whereas high school kids are like, "All right, coach." And the adults have also lived life, like, like you said, they are there because they want
They
to,
want to
knowing
be.
that, like, high school kids are some of they might be there because they want to, but do they really know what they actually that they want to be there yet?
No,
And they
they
have so many
don't.
other distractions.
Right. It's a different motivation,
Sure.
it's different. So
Sure.
it's actually almost harder to coach the high school kids because it's hard to keep them as motivated, I feel, as it is the adults. Um,
So do you find though that it does help that you have this running club, that you are still competing, that you're coaching, and some of your, women are incredibly fast still and are running as fast as some of your fastest girls, right? Like,
yeah,
do
Sure.
you find that that sometimes gives you a little bit more clout amongst the kids, where it's like you're not just a coach, you're not just talking, you're walking the walk,
I do.
and that they're sitting there and looking and going, okay, she knows what she's talking about. I saw one of her athletes,
Yeah.
Courtney, just ran up 501. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, so do you feel like at times they're giving you more of their attention because, kids, you're a role model,
Yeah.
you're a
Yeah,
mentor to
absolutely.
them, and
Yeah.
you're doing exactly what they're doing, just at a higher level.
I still, before I hurt my quad, I was actually doing workouts with them. I would
Yeah.
do workouts with them and try to push them as much as I could. The last workout I did with them was hill repeats.
Oh,
And I mean, we were like, I was bent over dying,
yeah.
but so I've
Keep going,
done
guys.
workouts.
You're doing great.
Listen,
We have another set.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll be
for
telling
me,
their
that is
times as we're
either
running.
bike or I'm meeting you at the bottom.
Yeah. So they've seen me do the workouts and they
Yes.
know
Sure.
like sometimes I'm ahead of them, sometimes I'm behind them. And I've had them work out with some of my women sometimes so they could see, look, she's 50 something years old or she's whatever.
Yeah.
You could run this or you could do this.
And that
Um,
matters to these kids. Like some of my kids, like, who you having on the podcast this week? Like they love the fact that we have an interest in the sport. Like, not like,
yeah.
it shows that we're all in.
And I
Right.
think some of the
And kids
motivation
can feed
too,
off of that.
because like not all the Bellas were like accomplished high school and
No,
college athletes.
No,
Like
no.
they are people that just got into running or wanted to, or always ran. And now they're running probably better than they thought they could. So I think that's also inspirational to maybe some of the kids on the high school team that aren't competing in sectionals, regionals, meet of champs, and they're just on
They
the
just
team.
love
And
to
it's like,
run.
listen, you can run and then later on still become a very good runner and still compete at a high level if you really, because there's a lot of late bloomers. There are so
Right.
many runners that even past college, they get into their 30s and 40s, and it's like something changes. They maybe they mature a little and they have
A
a
lot of
little more
times
toughness. And
it's up here.
yeah, so it's like I think that's definitely a good like inspiration. And I know Dave over there has gone running and he's able to see like, obviously Robbie will come because Big Bob is there, and they,
Yeah.
every once in a while Josette comes by, and just seeing other athletes being able to do something that maybe these kids don't think they can do, and getting the real stories of I was where you were and now I'm, I never broke 6 and now I run a 540, like, and I'm in my 40s. Like, I feel like that's also a motivating factor for your athletes.
And like just the overall, I feel like push in our country. Like I see in high school, like people want to be healthier. People just in general,
They
like
do.
you see, like you go food store now. Like I didn't know what gluten was until like
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Right. Right.
But like there's such
I
a
still love
conscious.
my gluten.
Oh yeah, I do. But like I feel like there's a lot of people, like I see it now in high school. Like these kids are getting salads for a lunch,
Yeah.
like they're getting like it's. I feel like there's a lot of people now who just want to be healthier, and
Which I'm
it's good to
against.
be healthy. And
I want
for
kids to be unhealthy. Darn it. Let them be kids. I don't want them to eat Sodexo, but let them be kids.
Well, if you saw what I eat, like I'll compare like a Courtney and Joan. If you see what they eat and what I eat, it's just I tell people I'm not a health expert,
Right.
and I don't practice I don't preach what I don't practice.
Diane
Because
gets done on the race and just starts
let me tell
munching
you,
a Big Mac. Like she's like,
I used to eat Wendy's before all, like, or just crazy stuff, pizza
Wendy's
before
is
my
good, man.
races.
oh, I used to drink soda before football games.
Yeah,
Like, and
yeah,
like, but it is like Dave said, it's a different mindset. And I've said it
yeah,
before, and I think we're going to have a correction because I think kids are becoming adults way too fast in our sport.
Oh,
right now.
absolutely.
They're not, they're not going out in college. Like, I get it. You want to be serious, but if you're number 6,000 in the nation, go be a college kid. I'm
yeah,
sorry. Like,
yeah,
don't sit there and like, I think I'm sorry. If you're running a 410 in college, you're probably not doing much anymore. Like, it's crazy
yeah.
for
It
the
is crazy.
guys scene, but it's like, I think we're kids are becoming adults way too fast right now in our sport. And I think we do need to see that correction a little bit.
Not in
Of,
our sport,
go
just in
be
general.
kids again. Well, they
Yeah.
think they're becoming adults in general, but in our
Well,
sport especially.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's across all sports. You're just
Sure.
seeing
Yeah.
like the seriousness at such a younger age, and then but I mean, just to see the times alone, how much they've
It's
come down.
crazy.
I'm mind blown, what high school, what middle school girls
Yeah.
are running.
I'll say it one more
It-
time. We had a 16-year-old run a 142. Like
Well,
I
just
don't know
look
what
at
to say.
Jane I can't say her name.
Yeah.
Hengerden, whatever,
Yeah.
BYU. Just
Her first race back at high
Right.
school. Like
But I mean, at the New Balance Nationals outdoors, a middle schooler ran, I think it was like a 204, like the top
it's insane.
five.
It's
how about
insane.
How
under
about
210,
New Jersey had like 5 girls or 6 girls under 205 just in New Jersey last year.
Sick, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's
Yeah.
crazy, and it's like I don't know. I like the times. There's a proof in the pudding there, right? Like I think the times are really good, but again, at the same time, go be kids, y'all. Like
Yeah.
go have
Yeah.
fun. Go enjoy your life. Like I don't know. Like there's a part
a
of
fine
me that was
line.
like.
There's
We
a fine line.
had really fast individuals growing up. We had people running 4 flat. We had all, maybe not the volume that we have now, but we had the speed back then.
And we ate McDonald's for lunch all the time.
That's all I ate, man. I ate McDonald's and I still love me some Burger King chicken fries.
In high
okay?
school?
They
High school.
they are delicious.
I'll tell you what, in high school,
I don't care what I ate in high school.
I
Yeah.
broke the indoor shore conference mile, and I ate Burger King the night before as my meal. And
There you go,
I tell
kids.
people that all the
There you go,
time.
kids.
The old school Burger King chicken tenders were undefeated. They were like the long chicken tenders. They were so much better in McDonald's one. Then they redid them and they suck. But anyway, this is now the fast food podcast.
Yeah, it's not good.
Kids. Now, and as you're doing this, you're gonna go to your girls at Easton. They're gonna be like, "Coach, you want us to go get fast food?" You're gonna be like, "Absolutely
like,
not.
Eat
Get on the
good,
bus."
sleep, hydrate. Meanwhile, I'm like, I'm eating pizza the night before. No.
I'm eating pizza. It's 11:30. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna be on the phone for another 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
So,
god.
With the Bella in motion, like what is the process in which someone who is interested would have to go
Well,
about? to
really
become a member?
quick.
Go ahead.
Can
Alex.
we get to first
Sure.
Why did you start Bella in
There
Motion?
you go.
What was the mindset behind starting a running club? And for people that are out there and interested, how difficult was it to start a running club?
So I remember writing down, like, when I was in my 20s, that I wanted to start a running club, and I had just written down a few names. Bella Emotion was not one of them, but I mean, I just remember it was in the back of my mind, and then here I was, in my 40s. I competed for another club, and I was kind of recruiting all the Masters women anyway, and kind of doing all the stuff. And, I just felt like I needed to do it my way. I was already doing everything, and if something went wrong, it would fall on me, and I I was already having that responsibility. So I just said, "Why am I? I'll start my own club. So if
Yeah.
something goes wrong, it's my fault." So I started Bell Motion, and I realized, there's social running clubs, there's some competitive running clubs that were co-ed, and I'm like, there's not
Right.
enough female running clubs. So
Did you find that females were a little intimidated at the co-ed clubs
100%.
sometimes, that because there was maybe some like guys that were still like uber serious and like took it like they were still going to go to the Olympics, like that maybe that some women that were just like, I just want to run and have a good time, and maybe got pushed aside
well,
because
Lots of
I
like-minded
coaches were
think
people.
super focused on these super fast ones. And
Well, you know what I thought of, like, in gyms? So I remember I was never a gym person, and I remember the few times I went to a gym, I hated working out with it. Like, one gym, I think it was Jack LaLanne, had like a separate room for women could do their workout,
Right. Which is crazy.
and I just hated working out with guys, and I thought, well, maybe women felt that way about running. So when I started the group, I just said, it was for all levels, all ages, beginners, it didn't matter. And I didn't know what I was going to get. And I think I got like 10 or 12 women.
It's
And
awesome.
most of those original women are still with me, or sometimes they go out for a year and come back. But then it just grew into, I was competitive. So it didn't matter if you couldn't run a mile. I had a woman who had never run more than 2 miles, and now she's like on her 20th half marathon.
that's
I love it.
awesome.
But what they like about it is the fact that, wow, they see someone like a Courtney or a Joan, and they say, wow, we're in the same group as these women who can run that fast, and here we are. So that's what they love about it. They look at them like, wow, and we look at them like, wow. It's like, so we all inspire each other.
Yeah.
So the ones that are really competitive will do those meets, and the ones that just want to do it for fun, or make a girls trip out of it, they'll do half marathons and pick a place to run. And that's what it is,
Now,
what you get out of it. We're here to support women, build
sure.
them up, make them confident, and not be like, we're elite, you're this. You know what I mean? It's
Nah.
like, no, we have the
Now,
ones who want to compete in the higher, the more, the national meets, the world meets, do that. And we all support each other regardless if you can run a mile or 10 miles.
do you have any people who like are at the point like they just want to come and practice for
Yeah.
like to
Some
run and
people just
camaraderie,
come
but
and run.
and
Yeah.
not compete at all?
As
Yeah.
like more of
Most
a social
people do,
group.
though.
I
They're
love that
beasts
because
of it.
people want to be around people that they are like-minded with. So I mean, this is
Yeah.
fantastic. Like this is great, and
And
and you have all different ages too, which
all
is
ages,
fantastic.
all paces. Some people get intimidated. I'm like, what are you talking about? We have women that can run 15 minutes and some women that run 5 minutes. So we have the full scope. And
Yeah,
and when I think what makes us unique is, some of the competitive teams are so competitive, they require you to do so many meets or do this,
Yeah.
do that. There's no pressure, even in the women that do the national meets. I don't force anybody to do anything. It's like, hey, nationals is this week. Who wants to go? So that's how we roll, and that's why a lot
right.
of women who are busy with their lifestyles, kids, families, careers, that's why they like it, because they're committed, but they don't have to be forced to do certain amount of
Sure.
meets or events.
You should rename it the He Women Men Haters Running Club.
We don't hate men.
The
I
Little Rascal style, though.
I created Fellas in Motion
I love it.
It's a great
because
name.
men wanted to run with us, and I was like, oh, then I'm going to ruin my concept. I started this for an all women's
I
group,
love it.
but we did some of the cross country races that were co-ed. So I was like, okay, I'll do Fellas in Motion to keep you separate, and sometimes we'll be together, but Bella is Bella. So
Listen, I think
That's
it's
good.
fantastic. The amount of women that we see in your program, just like the amount of confident women that we see in your program is amazing.
well,
Like you see someone like Courtney, like she is just like she's a mom. She's a teacher. She brings her kids everywhere. And yet it's important enough for her because of what you have built that she sees all these other women too. And she's like, hey, like, this is a great place to be. Like you said, no one's judging, but she can work out just as hard there as she could anywhere else with any males or with any guy coach. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? We have women all around the nation. I have women in
Oh,
Michigan. I
wow.
was laughing when you
That's
were
so
saying about
cool.
the Michigan games. We have women in Michigan. We have, women. I can't even name all the states. So it's interesting. It's been fun. North Carolina, Maryland, Texas. I think she just moved to Washington D.C. But we have women from all over Florida. So it's
So
exciting.
do you personally write everyone's workout?
Not every well, the majority, yes,
That's
yes.
all.
So some of the
Good for you.
women, yeah, not for all of them, but for the majority of the ones here, yes, yes.
That's awesome.
So, do you work with a lot of them though? Is this more of like a give and take than it would be to your high school athletes, where maybe some of your more experienced women, are you working with them on kind of how to formulate that plan? Because there has to be the complication of, I work full time, I have X amount of kids, they do this sport, especially as they get older. Like mine are 7 and 5, and I feel like I'm pulled in every direction already with coaching soccer. They play soccer, they do dance, they want to do this, they want to do that. So, is there working with the women of like, you want to hit this time, this is what we have to do, how are we going to fit this into your life?
Yeah, so we all understand each other. That's what's good about it because I mean, when I train myself, I have to take that all into account, what's
Yeah,
going on in my
yeah.
life. So we just look at, okay, what's your schedule like? How many days a week do you want to run? Can you handle doing 2 workouts a week? Can depending on what their goals are. And we talk about those things. If they have to miss a workout or miss a run, life gets in the way, and we can adjust things and change things. They know they can text me, call me. My text. If you saw the texts I get all day long, but yeah, I tell people just text me and I'll text you right back if you're not sure of something. But yeah, we make it work. It happens. So they get a weekly plan, and then if they follow it pretty much as they can.
Did you envision it being as successful as it is, being as much of a known quantity as it is? Because, especially if you're Jersey Shore, the Bellas. Like the Bellas are a team. You see Bella in motion, like Dave said, you'll see the singlets at almost every road race in the local area.
Yeah.
And now you're national. Like, when you started this, did you just think it was going to be like you and a few women that are dedicated and working together and having fun? Or did you envision it becoming something that is kind of expected now? Like, you go to certain meets, all right, you're going to see some Shore AC singlets and there's going to be some Bellas here. Like, that, right? Like, did
Yeah.
you envision that becoming a thing?
Honestly, I had no idea. I knew what I wanted to do, and just for me to compete. If I was the only one wearing that singlet, then that's how it was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was interesting because when we first had like official uniforms, it was about 3 years later where we really got nice uniforms. And there was only 3 of us. We went out to Albuquerque,
Mhm.
and everybody stopped and was like, "Whoa!" They were like, who are you guys? We just looked official, like that
That's
made us
awesome.
official. Our uniforms were so snazzy. Everybody knew who we were from that point on. And there were only 3 of us at that meet. And I think that's kind of what really helped us gain that recognition and respect of what ballet motion is.
Now,
I don't know why, real quick, I envision like kind of like Greece. How like there was like the pink ladies, like you guys could just have like Bella jackets, like for Greece, like the like leather varsity jackets, and you guys should rock those to meets and
Yeah, yeah,
have
we
like
should. I,
that.
I I do have a black leather jacket. Maybe I should paint it pink.
You should do that. Put like the Bella's decal on it, and you
Yeah,
guys should
yeah.
all get leather jackets and wear them to meets, and you guys will be like, you're from Greece.
now, how has the support been from the other running clubs, like the other local clubs?
Yeah, I mean, the support's been good. It's been interesting. I've heard when I first started this, I heard some things like, how is that going to help, the other clubs or the Jersey Shore being competitive or whatever. I think it did because
Sure.
it throws in another dimension. We offer a different, we're a female only running club,
Mhm.
and I don't know. We try to work with everybody and
You have more
support.
females running now than you would if this club did not
Yeah,
exist. So I
exactly.
mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. So I think some people might have been against it or whatever, felt like maybe we were taking away from other clubs or whatever. But you know what? Here we are, and it's 11 years later.
But
So
but that in lies some of the problem with the sport is like we should all be all for everybody. Like just
exactly.
run.
Yeah.
Like just everybody running is good. Like I coach gone running. Half of the kids that I'm coaching won't even go to my high school, but it's fun. Like I get
Yeah,
to coach
yeah,
these kids and introduce them to the sport no matter where they go. If they come to my high school or not, I get to get them involved into this amazing
Right.
sport. And that matters to me more than will they run fast for my high school. Like if I see these kids running in 10, 20 years, like I did my part. I made them like
absolutely.
this sport. And you're doing that for the older generation.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, you're
And it's
keeping them
hard.
in the sport after we get them involved. You're giving them a place where they can feel comfortable
Continue.
and continue and
Yeah.
keep pursuing every dream or just stay fit.
I was going to say on the high school level, it's a little harder because you have so many other sports to compete with.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
lacrosse now, you have volleyball. It's just it's hard to get girls interested in cross country when they want to join their friends, and it's a sport that's a little more fun. So I feel like that's a challenge. But
Yes.
And
but
while every sport works hard, you don't know what hard work is until you run an XC season.
right,
Like or
yeah,
I will say a distance swimmer maybe can compare like a
Sure.
legit
yeah,
crew. Crew is an all body level. Like there's a
Wrestling
few
is rough too,
sports.
man. Wrestling is
Wrestling is
all
rough,
out,
but there
man.
are a
That
few
is.
sports that challenge you and train you as hard. And listen, I played football. I love football. I will, but I was never in better shape or worked harder at getting good than I did in cross country.
yeah,
And
yeah.
anyone that's ever done cross country as compared to other sports will tell you there is very few
Well,
comparisons in
you know
terms
what?
of just the physical toll it takes on you
Right,
to be good
And it
or to
makes you
just
mentally tough
do it.
because you got to go out on those
yeah,
summer days, sometimes by yourself. And if you
yeah,
want to be good, you got to put in the work. So it takes
yeah,
a lot of, you learn. I always tell kids, you'll learn a lot about yourself if you have a
Yeah.
serious
Yeah.
cross country season. You'll learn a lot
yeah,
about who you are as a person.
right,
And the one thing I love about, what you're doing with Bella in Motion and just clubs in general, and I think we need to take, like Dave said, the mindset needs to change because the more opportunities we have for more people to run, the better it is for the sport. Like I love Gone Running because Gone Running gets the youth. And the clubs beyond it helps college kids, right? That aren't done running, they can go back to running. It helps people that just want to keep doing it. And it can only be better at getting more exposure because that's also where you kind of have the like water jug talk, right? Where oh, did you see Athlos this weekend? No, what's Athlos?
right,
Oh,
right,
Athlos is an all-female meet, and we're an
yeah.
all-female club. Like
Mhm.
we should be paying attention to Athlos and supporting them. And
We should be watching that meet.
there's more opportunities when there's more people running to sit there and point out and say Keely Hodgkinson finished off her season in a 154. There's no reason why we're not watching that and
Did you
trying to figure
see
that
the
out.
crowd though? I
It
mean,
was
that
great.
stadium was packed. I wish I could have gone. I couldn't
Awesome.
believe
And
it.
but my favorite part was the long jump in Times
Long
Square
jump was
was
cool in Times Square.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like they had a pit. Tara Davis
Yeah,
was out there, set the world, and like it was packed. People were watching, and then they had men coming out and who were jumping like 3 meters, like trying to match her, and she just
yeah.
dusted them. It was
But
awesome.
that's
That's
types
what
of
we
things,
need.
like making it fun and
Hmm.
Yes.
exposing it to more people. It will only help the sport.
We
And
need
that,
Mondo in Times Square.
yeah, yeah.
Like Pole or Ryan Krauser, it's like, and then have extra shot puts. People like give people a chance
The
to
chance
compete
to
and be
try.
like, "Whoa, this guy throws 75 feet. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? Like I threw it 8."
The
Like
best is when they let you run on the treadmill to do the speed of the marathoners, and you're like a 30-second 200 is what they're running the, 26.2
I
miles
know
in.
you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah."
They're falling off the treadmill
Yeah,
and
but
they're
that crowd was awesome, and it gave me hope, and I love the fact that crowd was so big and it was only females.
yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, we can need a little more credit. See what we could do for this sport.
Hey,
It was a good
100%.
thing, but like I said, but more clubs give more opportunity to talk about running, to talk about track, to talk
Yeah,
about cross, to talk about marathons, and I think that that's a good thing. The more we have, because again, it's you have people that just want to run, but maybe aren't truly fans of the sport yet. But then you sit there and you point out some of the amazing things that these track athletes are doing at the pro level, and it's like, Oh, maybe okay, where can I find that? Oh, I have to pay
Oh,
for
yeah.
Flow Track? Oh, maybe I will. Maybe I'll try it out. Maybe I'll try
Yeah.
Runner Space.
Well, you
Maybe
know,
I'll go search for it on Peacock. Like it just makes it just it's natural. So people anyone that dislikes the fact that somebody else opens up a running club, you're part of the problem. Stop it. I will just flat out say like stop it. You're not
well,
helping.
and also, because like just doing workouts yourself,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
say you're doing like quarters in like 95 seconds, and you're like, wow, they just ran a 5K at like 4:05 pace.
So insane.
When you actually do it,
Mind-blowing.
then you have a much better interpretation of what you're actually watching, like how
Right.
amazing, and you just have a greater perspective and a greater understanding of
I
how
was telling my
really is.
daughters, we were watching, I think it was the New York City or Boston Marathon, and the guys were going, and they're like, "Oh, how fast did I go?" And I go, "Well, they're running the mile at daddy's personal best every single mile."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like to put that in mind-blowing perspective, like they're running my fastest mile for 26. Like
Or like the last lap of their 400, is faster than any 400 you could ever do. Or in
it,
fact, you can even run a 200 and,
it's
it's
so
crazy.
crazy to put it into perspective. So
Yeah. Yeah.
talk about your big event that you guys put on for the ladies every year, the Bella Mile.
Yeah.
What went into creating the Bella Mile? When is the next Bella Mile? And what to give us a little more information about it.
Yes, please.
So the first one was in 2023, and we decided, let's do an event that we can raise money to give female scholarships. And so
One of my
there's so
athletes got
many.
one, Angelina George.
Yep, there's so many 5Ks, there's 10K, to have marathons. I'm like, the track mile is a unique race and you don't get that many opportunities to do a
Yep.
mile. So, and attendance is tough because it's a unique event and it's intimidating to some people and you might not attract your serious runners who would do a mile. But that's what we decided on. And it's open to men too. It's just not it's not a female only race. So it was great. The first year was crazy. We did it in Red Bank at the Count Basie track, and it was a lot of work to put together. The weather was crazy. It was in March, and it was freezing. There was a wind chill. It was downpouring. We had 42 people do it. The second year we doubled. We did it at CBA, and then last year was our third year and we had 120 runners. So that was pretty good turnout for the mile. And we raised more money each year, which was
That's
great. And this
fantastic.
year, I haven't secured the date yet, but I'm trying to keep it in early June. So like the
Listen,
first week of June. So that's, I just started working on the planning for that now. Uh,
When you let us know when you have something finite, please tell
absolutely.
us. We will, at the moment you tell us, we
we
will
will
say it
save
week
the date.
after
Yeah.
week, and we will try to get as many individuals out there because it's funny when we started the show, the Bella Mile was one of the first pages on Instagram that followed us, and it's like I've heard of it, but you guys followed us, and I'm like, running people, cool, we
Yeah.
love it. Like it was awesome.
I'm all over. Like, I really just use social media mostly for the running stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
Sometimes I'll
Yeah.
put personal things, but I put it on there a lot. That's how you get people. Word of mouth was the biggest thing for us too, because the people that did it, they were
Always
like,
is.
"Oh my God, this is such an amazing event," and we had cash prizes, and we handed out cash as soon as whoever won, there was your cash that day. You didn't have to wait 2 weeks for it or get a check. You got the
Or you didn't have
Yeah.
to
envelope.
sue the organization to get
No.
it and get a
Oh, you mean like
settlement, or
Grand Slam track? No.
hope that you have an infusion of money months later to help pay for
Yeah,
it.
it was a little panicking at times, but no, it's to the point where I think, I people see what it was about. It was well organized, we got
Yes,
good
yes.
feedback. We got some high profile better talented runners that I, didn't know if they would come to a race like ours. But yeah, and it's USATF certified. It's not a championship mile race.
No,
That
it's
would probably attract more people. I just haven't done it, haven't made it that. But
and
Maybe we should get some of like the elite runners instead of racing. They should maybe pace. Like you could have like goal
yeah,
times
yeah, yeah.
and just have like
It's just a workout.
Allie Wilson come and like pace a mile and see if they can get people to get through in like 440, like
Yeah, yeah,
450, like some of the like people
and
are
if you
trying to run elite and then just there you go. Your pros, they're just doing a workout. They're doing their
yeah.
and pay them to
yeah,
rabbit like a little bit.
you
And I
have
think that would be like a fun little thing.
and if
It
you
would.
haven't been there, like CBA's track, it's like a pro track. It is
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely stunning. It is like, I mean, wow. Woo!
I
It's
haven't had
a
a
beautiful
chance to
place.
even run on that track
It's
because I'm
beautiful.
the one announcing, running around
Right.
like crazy, so I watch everybody else do it.
I was
But
at Monmouth Mile this year. It is a beautiful, beautiful place,
yeah, no, I mean, it was a great facility, and that's where we are hoping to have it again this year. Like I
and
said,
it's like
probably the
set in the
first week of
back. It's cool.
June. That's where we did it the last 2 years. It was the first week of June. So, and there's other races that you're competing with, but if you want to run a mile, you run a mile. It's The one frustrating thing is the Masters is there's limited meets, but then all the championship races are on the same weekend. You have your
So
mile
annoying.
championship, your 5K championship. It's
Ah,
crazy to me, like that they don't spread it
I
out
mean,
or
how cool is it though? But like, if you're like a solid pro miler or even like a good miler, you don't have to leave the Jersey Shore for like June all the way to August to
there's
find some great
yeah,
mile only
yeah,
meets.
yeah,
It's pretty cool.
yeah. I mean, a good road mile too. A road
Yeah,
mile is fun too. So
Oh,
sure.
absolutely. So, what are the future plans for Bella in Motion? Do we have anything that you're trying to maybe expand, trying to do, or is it just going to be get some more members, chip away, let some women run as best as they can?
yeah, I mean, it's a lot. It's like another full-time job almost, you know what I mean? So like,
Oh,
look,
yeah.
I'm not looking to we are what we are. And if it stays the way it is, I'm not we have other people join from other states that want to be competitive in the national world meets. Great, it's fun. It's we love it. And we're going to keep doing it as much as we can. And if I get more women locally that just want to run a half marathon or a 5K, great. But we're not looking to be 100, 200
Right.
people. Our group, we have probably 40 something members,
Yeah.
and it's great. It's
And plus, when you get bigger, you almost lose that like intimacy of it.
That's right, and that's what
Like you like lose that like, hey, there's Joanne or there's Nancy,
yeah,
like knowing everyone's name
yeah,
and people that you've grown with, who I'm sure a lot of your members now are friends outside of practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah, and we have women that fly in, like, one of our women from Michigan flew in for the Bella Mile just to
it's
come and
awesome.
watch and help
That's
out. Her daughter
fantastic.
ran it, so and she might be visiting again, in November, so it's just, it's nice. We have a good group of women, and the women who are here who don't go to the national meets, who might not be as competitive, they see them online in the social media posts. So when they do get to meet them in person, or they're like, "Wow, we know all about you
Yeah,
already," or "We've
listen,
seen you," or "We saw you compete. You were the hurdler, or you were this," So
it's awesome.
So I guess the next step though is Bello in Motion. So you can make an all male
those
group and you
fellas,
could be the coach
fellas,
of the men as well and you can keep
She
them
has
separate.
fellas.
I have
She has
fellas in
You
motion.
could do
fellas.
both. Create the second one and you can
Yes,
coach both of them and just double it up and add to
yeah,
your, massive group of people already. No, but it's really cool what you do. I
Awesome.
think that yeah, we need more individuals. I think we have so many individuals too, and I love highlighting people like you who are still so passionate about the sport and still wanting to I think making it accessible is
Huge.
something that we don't
yeah,
give enough credit to certain people because you're giving an accessibility and a lot of good running stores will have their running groups, right? Like the stores will
right.
have them, but it's not as often that you get just a running club that's not okay. We have a running club, but don't you want to be an elite? Do you want to join our elite version? It's like,
Right.
no,
No,
we
And some
just
clubs
want to
put
run.
standards. You can't run,
100%.
Yeah.
or
No.
It's
yeah,
intimidating. Like, oh,
right,
like I want to like no, I just want to run with some ladies once or twice a
Yeah.
week and have a conversation.
yep.
Or it could be so much more, but you provide them with whatever opportunity that they
Yeah,
want.
like I said, we're pretty laid back. There's no, it's not like you have to do
Right.
3 meets and you have to compete in nationals or you can't be on the team. No, and that's why I do like it because I've had people come from other clubs that were more serious and they're just like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't find this sooner," or it's no pressure. I don't need pressure when I have pressure in my life and career.
100%.
And they probably run better, right?
Right,
Because when you're
right,
relaxed, you're
right.
running better. When
Fun for
there's
them. It's fun.
It's
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
That's it. Is that
We're not going to the Olympics. So
you provide a chance to go have fun, talk with like-minded people about whatever it is that you want to talk about on it. It could be training, it could be anything. And that's so important for people because we get so involved in work and
Yep.
family, and we
Yep.
don't have those little things that we do for ourselves, which are so important, especially nowadays. Like everyone's
Yeah.
running so many
And
different
we have women
ways.
in all professions, so
Sure.
it's interesting
Mhm.
to see, how we all balance our lives or kids
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
so
I can imagine those conversations on the long runs are fun too. Just like,
Yeah.
it's a steam let her off, right? Like, cause
yeah.
you're going home and it's like, okay, like I don't want to always yap my husband's year off, my significant other's year off, right? I can go talk to my girls that
There's
I run
therapy
with and
sessions or
Yeah,
long runs
it's
are
great.
yeah, hell
super.
It's
yeah.
beautiful. It's
But that's what
beautiful.
long runs used to be in
Yeah.
college and in high school too. You're just
Yeah.
with your friends and you're just going on this 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever mile runs, and you're just talking until
It
the last
depends on
mile
which
when you're all
day of
trying
the
to beat
week
each
that
other.
it was,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it was a
If it
true
was on a
long run,
Sunday,
you're
it would be
mostly
like run 3 miles, throw up, and then just there was
well,
no
you were
talk.
sweating
There
out
was
while
no
you were
talking on a Sunday
oh,
runs. There was no talking, so let's just get through this. Let's just get through this and go
oh
back.
my god, if like I said, the college kids, like when you were tasting the beer from last night that morning was terrible, but worth every single moment.
Not that we ever did that, kids.
It
Never.
was
Never.
carbs. It was carbs that
Hey,
helped
We
listen,
me
never
I
did
can
that,
say it.
kids.
I'm not a coach. I did. I don't coach anything. But Diane, we
Oh,
appreciate you
thank you.
coming on. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
So I want everybody to go and support Bella in Motion. If you go on Facebook and go look it up, you can go and follow them there. If you go on Instagram, it's
Yep.
real easy. Bella and the letter N Motion. Go support the Bella Mile on Instagram and
Yep.
also Facebook. The Bella Mile's there. So you can be interactive. Is there anywhere where people can donate to be sponsors for it? Is that coming up
Yeah.
soon in terms of sponsorships?
You can go to our webpage, but yeah, we'll be putting out all of the stuff to be sponsors, whether you just want to donate to the race individually or if it's a company,
We
we
have to find out because a big Talking in Ovals banner might be nice there.
absolutely. Yeah, we would love it. So
Yeah,
that
so we definitely have to talk, and
you
also
guys
go.
can come and
I'll go. Yeah, I
to,
mean, the
could do some interviews or whatever or hang
yeah.
out, run it, whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Once you have that date, we'll try and lock it in. And again,
Yeah.
I promise nothing with my life, but I
Yeah.
will try. Okay.
I get it.
I am local, so
Yeah, I'm in New York, so I'd have to travel.
Yeah, I get it totally.
I'm in Point, so I'm
Yeah.
good.
So also go follow Diane personally
Yes.
at Diane D13 on Instagram as well. And if you want to follow us, go Talking in Ovals. We are unique. There is no other Talking in Ovals, so you can just go find us everywhere. And we appreciate everyone that watched, everyone that commented. Thank you to everyone there. Whether you watched X, Facebook, YouTube, Kick, Twitch, all those good things. Make sure you follow us. And if you're listening to this later via podcast, it's probably like 3 weeks later because I have been awful about getting these up, but I am trying, damn it. But we'll be back next week with another exciting guest. Thank you, everybody, so much for